Hi, good evening. It's Dean from maverickstar Observatory. In this video, I just wanted to talk about a few things that we've managed to do this week, and also I'm going to play this animation, which is from Jordan B. Peterson's channel on YouTube. He's a professor of psychology. In my view, he's a guy that deserves the Nobel Peace Prize if he hasn't got several already. He deserves another one if he doesn't. Or at least the first one, and you know, the animation was done by After School. So I'll play that while we're talking in the background. Definitely go over to his channel, and he's written some amazing books. And what I like about him is that he breaks things down simply for people, and I would describe him as an excellent motivationist. You know, one of his sayings is, you know, that even if you try to make tomorrow just 1% out of 100 better than it was today, it is an improvement. And you've got to feel better about yourself for just even making that bold effort to go that 1% better than you did today. But can you imagine if you did that for the next 100 days? Your life surely would be 100% better than what it is today. So just always trying to make and improve not just your own life but other people's lives is well worth the effort. And that's the difference between, you know, somebody that is optimistic and pessimistic, or, you know, a positive person and a negative person. You know, if you're a negative person, you're doing conduct in negative ways, you know, the outcome is not going to be beneficial for you, not even by 1%. You know, you've got to be a person that is truthful, I believe, and want to help others and want to improve, you know, the world in which you live, and immediate surroundings absolutely is first and foremost. You know, I want to thank, you know, those few people that came along yesterday and helped with a little bit of support for the observatory. You know, I get beat up a lot on our channel for asking for support, but you know, there is a responsibility to keep the observatory going in order to keep the information flowing, and I do genuinely understand that a lot of people are finding it difficult now at this time because of the pandemic, the loss of businesses, the loss of income, or the reduced income. You know, I think we've all experienced that, and you know, we've all also probably had to, you know, consider doing extra. You know, I'll do whatever I have to keep the observatory going my end, but physically I know it's impossible to do it on my own. You know, it does require some support. I really don't like the brush that I get tarnished with sometimes, and that is, you know, oh, you're just begging for money off people, because that's not the case. You know, beggars don't give nothing back generally. You know, what I'm doing is giving, in my personal opinion, a hell of a lot back. You know, we opened a door this week for everybody, every Joe Public, to send something out into space, a video, a photo, you know, an obituary to a loved one that you've lost, or just simply a message to one of your loved ones. You know, you have that opportunity to send that out into space and immortalize it. You know, there's not many things in this world that can offer what we've done this week, and you know, it's not going to break the bank either. It's not a lot of money we're talking about, and you know, the freebies have ended. You know, our patrons that didn't take up the opportunity to send the message, well, maybe there might be an opportunity when you're ready to go over to ULM, and you know, unfortunately you will have to pay this time for that message, but the opportunity still is there, and it's not really expensive. It's probably less than, you know, a reasonable bottle of wine. So we've opened doors again this week for everybody on this planet, if they choose to send a message out into space and immortalize themselves a little bit, or you know, to increase their legacy that they leave behind. It's a shame that we only live on average to around about 70,000-80,000 years if we're lucky. Sorry, 70, 80,000 years, 70 or 80 years if we're lucky. But you know, it's what we do in that time, that we, from when we're born to when we die, that counts. And that opportunity is there for you if you want to immortalise yourself a little bit longer, if you want something else about yourself to last that little bit longer. You know, I've made it possible by building the equipment and passing it on to universal light message, and you know, that opportunity now exists today because of, you know, some of the work that I put in. And I have to just say, by the way, it wasn't just, you know, hundreds of hours of my time spent building the equipment. It was also hundreds of hours that ULM, Carol, the launch director, Ian had spent as well, getting this very easily accessible to you guys. You know, a lot of work has gone into it. So just wanted to put that out there. You know, that's one of the things that have happened this week. A couple of the stories that I've come across this week, one of them is China and Taiwan. Around about 28 warplanes had invaded the airspace of Taiwan. And the reason why this is important is because China is a nuclear power. And, you know, America is also a nuclear power that has sworn to defend the democracy of Taiwan, should it need to. And, you know, here are two of the biggest world nuclear powers, you know, almost at standoff with each other over this situation. You know, it just goes to show the world in which we live in and how fast things could change. And, you know, it wouldn't be the first time that had happened. It had happened to somebody. I mean, you can imagine the announcement of the Second World War to many people around the world, how devastating that was, and even the announcement before that of the First World War. You know, we go through these birthing pains as human beings, and I really do never want to see you know, that sort of war start in this modern day and age, because of the technological advancement that we have made in not just, you know, helpful technology, but also the technology that can destroy things and is very destructive. You know, this is the world we live in, and you know, we live in a world that has that capability, but we also live in a world which is struggling at the moment with regards to the anomalies that we're experiencing. I think it's very sad sometimes when you look at where we are right today, you know, possibly 2 or less than 2 years away, 20 months away, you know, from, you know, a real catastrophe naturally occurring, and at the same time, you know, we cannot live in peace with each other and use, you know, a democratic method of resolving our problems and issues in this world. How will we ever work with people that come from other worlds? And they do exist, and not just because the Pentagon says now that they have admitted to openly that UFOs are a real phenomena. You know, that these vehicles could be coming from other dimensions and other areas of the universe that we live in. You know, how can we ever accept others if we can't accept ourselves? The only difference is that we are separated by oceans, and you know, the extraterrestrials are just separated by, you know, vast oceans of space. You know, this is the world in which we are part of. You know, when we say our world, it really is not just related to the biodiversity on this planet. It is related to all the biodiversity in our universe. It's a wonderful place. So, you know, I just wanted to go over a few things that we'd managed to do over the week, and one of those other things that we've done is obviously the triangulation of the magnetic North Pole position. And you know, we also currently now do once a week Earth Health at a Glance, which is, in my view, a really, really important tool. You know, we can easily go on to the poleshiftnewswebsite.com and have a look at what the condition of our Earth is in on a weekly basis with regards to CO2. You know, I make it clear that we are closer to causing more trouble through reducing CO2 than we are causing more trouble through increasing it at this moment. We could increase it 3 more times more and it still would have negligible effect on ourselves. We would still think cognitively. And then there are the other anomalies that people worry about, like earthquakes and volcanic activities. Some people think that the earthquakes and volcanoes are running rampant, and they're really not. And the evidence of that is the archive of the Earth Health at a Glance that we've got on the website. So, like Jordan Peterson is always trying to do, is say to people, have a meaningful life. It's really what I'm trying to do. And I'm trying to help others as well, alleviate their anxieties with regards to some of these anomalies that are taking place. Yes, we do have some concerns about the coming events, and yes, when you are caught up in the vicinity of an acting volcano, like a month ago, or just under a month ago in Africa there was, and 30 people lost their lives. It is very significant, but in general, there is an archive of information there now that we are building, and it's then to you to make your own decision on whether you feel concerned about that fact. But on average, there's 26 volcanoes erupting around the world at any one time. There are always going to be earthquakes because of tectonic activity. It's part of the nature in the world in which we live. And I put these things together for people to understand that you can make your own judgment. You can see that this is a common occurrence, and both volcanoes, tectonic movements and earthquakes are all a healthy sign at the end of the day that we have got an active core in our planet. Because if we hadn't, maybe we could end up looking like Mars. If we hadn't got a magnetosphere, albeit 20% reduced in strength of what it should be, we would all be probably sterilised right now because of the amount of radiation we'd be receiving. And not only that, we'd lose our atmosphere, and then maybe the water, like Mars lost its water and atmosphere. So, it's a noble cause, I think, what I do here on the channel, but it does require some help from you guys. And at the end of the day, I just wanted to thank you guys yesterday that I came along and give you a little bit of support for it. And if I could, just encourage a few more of you. I mean, there are 30,000 of us that are subscribed to this, and we receive 10,000 people every week on the channel viewing the information that we put up on there. And we've got some great people on Patreon supporting us monthly, and we also have some superstars that are prepared to freely take the magnetometers on board and the muon detectors and send us their readings of these as often as they can. So that's all I wanted to say, guys. Have a good evening and take care of your loved ones. The link's down there in the description if you want to help do what we do here and support us. And basically it is supporting yourselves as well. So links down there in the description, and also what I usually do. As always, bye for now.